everybody, I am Keaton. This is Catholic Season 8, Episode 7. And before we get into today's video, really quickly, I want to say, not only do I do YouTube videos, but I'm also a speaker, and I've gone and given different talks at youth groups, events, things like that, but of course, right now, those are canceled. So what I have been doing, even with my archdiocese, is doing virtual youth nights. So if you want me to do a virtual youth night, virtual event, whatever it might be, and speak there, please contact me via my website. I can talk about pretty much anything to any age group. So please go to kidcatholic.com and click the contact me page and reach out to me from there, or go to kidcatholic1@gmail.com and email me and reach out to me from there to get it set up. Also, if you're new here, please click the red subscribe button down below and the bell next to it. That way you get notified when I come out with a new video. So now that we have that out of the way, I wanted to talk about today's topic. Obviously, that's what I want to talk about. But basically, what I'm saying is, I can't keep going and making videos and pretending like what's happening in today's world isn't a thing, right? Obviously, with the coronavirus outbreak, all of us are on lockdown. There's no school. For most of us, there's no work, right? I don't know why I say us as if I work. But for me, there's no school, right? A lot of things we're in quarantine, right? We're stuck in our house. And so I really can't talk and just give a normal video without mentioning that, without knowing that that's happening. And so I wanted to look at something that's a big question that a lot of people have when talking about the coronavirus, and that's, well, why would God let this happen, right? This has been a question for years, even when things like plagues in the past and wars, right? Why would God let something like this happen? Why would God let the world go on lockdown and let this virus spread to all these people and the world basically shut down? Why would God let that happen? And so that's what I want to answer in today's topic. Now, this is a big question that comes up a lot, right? For many reasons. Not only that, but also, like, we can't go to mass, right? Public masses have been canceled. Earlier, when I made a video on the coronavirus, I kind of talked about, oh, well, is your archdiocese, have they canceled masses yet? Now, pretty much everything is canceled, right? We can't receive the Eucharist, the source and summit of our faith. We are unable to receive it. So why would God let that happen? Now, the thing is, a lot of times when we ask this question, the answer we get is, oh, free will, and sometimes people use free will for the wrong thing, and they do bad things instead of doing the good thing. But this virus is more of a natural thing. I mean, then again, God probably didn't intend that someone would eat a bat. But overall, this virus outbreak, just like things like hurricanes, right? It's more of a natural thing that we might think, oh, this comes from God. Why would he let that happen? And the thing is, you look back on bad things that have happened, on disasters in the church's history. First off, the Catholic Church has survived everything. The human race has survived everything. You look on the 2,000 years of Christian history, we've survived all the plagues, all the wars, everything, right? So the Catholic Church is going to be okay, and we are going to be okay. Obviously, this virus outbreak is a very sad thing for those affected by it and for the families affected by it. So we might think, why does God let this happen? And the answer is, we look back on disasters. We look back on things that have happened, even if they're disasters to only us, even if it's something bad that's happened to only us or others around us, or a world event, right? A world shutdown like this, something good always comes out of it. And I know that that's kind of hard to hear and kind of hard to comprehend, because it's like, well, there are so many people being affected by this, there are so many people being hurt by this, getting sick from this virus, right? This is a very bad thing. How could he say that the good stuff comes out of this? The answer is, this isn't a good thing overall. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, the coronavirus is great because hearts are going to be changed and good things are going to come out of it. No, the coronavirus overall is a bad thing, but good will come out of this. We don't know how many hearts are going to be changed by this. I've heard stories already personally of reconnections that have been made, families coming closer together, and overall, when you see, especially like in the United States of America, right, how divided we are in things like this, for the most part, we are all coming together to fight this virus, to stay at home and to stay safe. Now, I'm not saying that that's just the completely good thing and that the virus isn't bad. It's very sad for those affected by the virus and for the families and friends of those affected by the virus. And what we can do is pray for them, and we can pray for those who are being hurt by this. However, we do need to know that God isn't just ruthless and mean and letting this happen and be like, haha, here's a virus, deal with it. Absolutely not, right? God wants us to come to him, and he wants us to unite, and he wants hearts to be converted to him. And the truth is, sometimes it takes a lot for hearts to be converted. Sometimes it takes a lot. I even talked about in my virus episode a couple weeks ago, right? I talked about how important it is for us to build a spiritual life and to pray, right? And how this could be a motivator to pray, to build that spiritual life. Maybe this is one of those times where this could be our motivation to start that spiritual life, because some of us watching may not have a spiritual life at all. And God is supposed to be our best friend, so maybe this is a motivator for us. Whatever it is, there can be a lot of good things that come out of this. And I can promise you this, especially in a time like right now, is a very important time to have hope, right? To build that strength in order to have that hope that everything's going to be okay, because at the end of the day, it will. Even though it's okay to be scared, right? Because it can be scary like this when all public masses are canceled, when we can't receive the Eucharist, when we can't go to school, can't go to work, right? Whatever it may be, it's okay to be scared. But we do need to know that God has a plan. And God will lead us out of it, right? Yes, God is letting this happen. God is letting this virus happen. The thing is, I heard this analogy once, and I want to use it again. Imagine parents to children, right? Parents to children. Are the parents just going to lock those kids in a cage so that nothing bad ever happens to them? No. Bad stuff is going to happen, right? The parents can't just lock them up and protect them forever. It's the same thing here. Bad stuff is going to happen, as sad as it may be. Man-made disasters, things like crimes and stuff like that, that's people using free will for the wrong thing. But something like this, that God may be letting happen, has good that comes out of it. We are God's children. And it's not like He's just going to lock us up so that nothing bad ever happens to us, right? Bad stuff is going to happen, but we need to survive it. And something important to note was that when Jesus was here on earth, He was fully human and fully divine. Yes, there was that fully human side of Him. But even Jesus, when He was here on earth, couldn't carry His cross by Himself, right? He needed Simon of Cyrene for help. It's the same thing here. A lot of us are dealing with a lot, right? Like a lot of things are happening as a result of this virus. Maybe we know someone who's been unemployed as a result of the virus, right? We know a lot of bad effects that are happening. And for all of those bad effects, something good will come out of it. But why I say that is because it's important to be there for others and to unite and to love one another as ourselves in a time like this, to unite. This is a time to unite. And so we may be thinking, well, God is just letting this happen. Like I even said, bad things are happening as a result of this virus, right? That is absolutely true. People are becoming unemployed. But for those bad things, there's going to be something good that comes out of it. I know I said that, but I'll repeat it over and over again because it's so important. We don't know like how many family connections, how many relationships are going to be built. Not only relationships between people, but relationship with God fixed and built over this time. Now I keep repeating this over and over again. Good is going to come out of it. Good is going to come out of it. But when we don't see that good and when we don't know exactly what that good is, sometimes it can be hard to believe. It can be like, sure, good is coming out of it. Like what? The people getting sick, the people dying as a result of this virus. Those things are very sad. And sometimes we may not know what, right? Sometimes we may not know what good comes out of this. We may be someone whose relationship is fixed in this, but we may not. This thing may pass and we are left unaware what good came out of this. Or sometimes if we do know, it may take a while. It may take a long while after this tragedy has passed. Something good that's already come out of this is the ocean, the rivers, right? Those things are clearing up because there's obviously a lot less people there because we're all staying inside. So that's something good that's coming out of it already. And I know that good, like, versus a ton of people dying because of the virus, obviously there's a difference there, but there's going to be more. We may not know what. We may not know when. But what we do know is that if we want this virus to clear up, it's important to pray. Right? Because you look in the 2,000-year history of Christianity, what the saints have done, what the early Christians have done, whenever they faced a time like this, is they would keep their head up and they would pray. And that's so important to remember in a time like this. Pray for not only those affected by the virus, not only the family members of those affected by the virus or those who have become unemployed, but also pray for those whose good will come into their lives as a result of this virus. Something that we know as Catholics is that God always does things for a reason, right? God never does things just to do them. Everything God does has a reason behind it. So even this virus, even this outbreak, as terrible as it may be, something good will come out of it because God has a plan for us. And everything's going to be okay. Like I said, we may not know what that plan is. We may not know what that good is. We may not know when that good will come. If it comes at all into our own personal lives, right? But what we do need to know is that good will come. Again, I'm not saying that the coronavirus is a great thing because good will come out of it. No, it's not. Obviously, it's a very bad and sad thing because of those affected by the virus. What I am saying is God isn't just letting this happen for no reason. God is all merciful and all loving. And that's so important to remember, especially in a time like this. So next time we feel like we're wondering why did God do this, or we know someone, or we have a friend, relative, family member who might be wondering the same thing, we need to pray for them, and we need to pray ourselves. Like I said earlier, this may be a motivator to start that spiritual life that we've been longing for. And maybe this is the perfect time to do so. So in a time like this, when things may be scary and we may be afraid, we need to know God has a plan, and God will lead us out of it. So now that the topic is done, y'all know what it's time for now? It's time for
the Saint of the Week!
And today's Saint of the Week is Saint Jane Frances de Chantal. And Saint Jane has just, I know I said this about every saint, but an absolutely incredible story. Why that is? Well, Saint Jane married at a pretty young age a man named Christophe, and they actually had a very deep faith-founded relationship. Saint Jane was a cradle Catholic, he was a cradle Catholic, and although some financial troubles at first, they were able to move past it, and they ended up being great together. They had a very firm and deep relationship with one another. They had 3 kids together, daughters specifically, and even at their estate, the poor would come to them, and Saint Jane would give them food and soup and whatever they needed. And sometimes these poor people would then go back, pretend to leave, sneak around the back of the house and go back in line for more food. And she was actually ridiculed for this, and when asked why she let them get away with this, she said, well, what would happen if God rejected me when I came to him with the same thing over and over again? Which is just a perfect analogy to use. Now, why I chose her for today's topic is something a little later that happens in her life. About the middle of her aging, her husband, Christophe, died in a hunting accident, was killed in a hunting accident. The man who did it did not do it intentionally. However, he was killed. And this was very hard for Saint Jane. An insane amount of grief came over her. She thought, why would God let this happen? Why is this a thing? The man did apologize, and Christophe forgave him before he died. However, Saint Jane wanted to forgive him so bad, but she couldn't bring herself to. It started out with little greeting him on the street every now and then, but she couldn't bring herself to. Until one day she had such a moment that the faith, the deep instilled faith in her, led her to forgive him. In fact, she forgave him so much that he would even come over to dinner, and she ended up being the godmother to his child. And as a result of this faith, he converted to Christianity, which is just... She then ended up befriending an archbishop, became the archbishop's spiritual director, which is just crazy. But then she founded an order for women who were rejected in the sisterhood because of amount of wealth or old age. She even accepted an 83-year-old. And when asked why she let people who were with bad health in, she said, I love the sick. I side with them. That's what she said, which is so just incredible. And the reason I chose her for today's topic is because you look at the tragedy that happened in her life. Her husband died, right? Such a terrible tragedy in her life. She didn't know how to deal with it, but a man ended up converting to Christianity, and as a result, an extra soul gets to heaven because of that. I just think that shows something good that comes out of something bad. Am I saying that her husband dying was good? No, it was not. However, when you look at what happened as a result of it, good came from that. Good did come from that. Just like what's happening right now, good will come from this outbreak. Even if it's a little good here and there with a lot of people that we may not even see and we may not even know when, good will come out of this because God has a plan for us. And anytime we feel like we may be losing hope, we may be losing strength, we may think, how can good come out of this? Let's pray through Saint Jane for help. Saint Jane, pray for us. So thank you all so much for watching this episode of Kid Catholic. What I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to book me to come and virtually speak at your virtual youth group or event or whatever it may be, please go to kidcatholic.com, go to the contact me page, and reach out to me from there, or email me directly at kidcatholic1@gmail.com. Also, please go check out my website, kidcatholic.com. There's so many awesome things you can do on there. You can read about me. You can contact me. All my videos are up there. You can even buy your very own Kid Catholic t-shirt up there, so please go check that out. Also, please check out 3 of my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The link to all 3 of those will be in the description down below. Please comment any saint or topic suggestions that you might have down below. Also, please share this channel and video with your friends and family. Make sure that they know about Kid Catholic. And please click the red subscribe button down below and the bell next to it. That way you get notified when I come out with a new video. Thank you all so much for watching. This was Keaton of Kid Catholic. I will see you all next week. And hi, Brielle.